What is up, rockers? Today in this video we are going to talk about T6 again, but you're gonna be wondering why we're going back into this topic is because we saw some new articles that potentially could be a possibility here now in Rise of Kingdoms. City Hall level 30, we've mentioned that before, and I know a lot of people didn't like it because yeah, it's definitely going to affect a lot of the free-to-plays, maybe low spenders as well. But we gotta talk about it because it's gonna happen at some point. We're not so sure yet when it's going to happen, if it's going to be in the next patches pretty soon, or is it going to be sometime next year, right? But it's a very interesting article, and I want to give you guys the link as well. Go to the description, I'll put the link there and just read through it, but we're gonna go through it as well. City Hall level 30 and as well as T6 coming soon. This article has some pretty good topic in here, so I really want to share this information to you. All right, so here's the article that I was talking about. I am very passionate about Rise of Kingdoms. I really enjoy this game. I love the community, and I love how people are very supportive, and it's just a very good community that we have. And I understand that it could be difficult, especially coming from a content creator like me, who is a sponsored content creator by Rise of Kingdoms, to present to you things like this. Now, I don't know if these are 100% legit, but I just came into this article and I think it was very interesting. I saw it on Facebook, I googled it, and then we're here. All right, so this is something that I'm just reviewing an article here, that if it's coming, what do they have in here, and I'm here to share the experience with you guys. So T6 buildings and troops leaked, coming to Rise of Kingdoms. This was published just this month, September 4th, 2020. So if you want to go into this link, it's made by houseofkingdoms.com. So last year, Lilith Games, so they said they will release T6 troops and building because they think it's a way too easy for players to obtain T5 upgrades. Wow. Though it turns out they weren't serious about it, and some players took that statement seriously. So right, this time Lilith Games appeared to be working with something new, which leads to potential T6 buildings and troops coming to Rise of Kingdoms soon than anticipated. One of the test servers. So, woo, okay, that's very interesting. It says something about test servers. There was a screenshot captured of a player's headquarters, which appears to have a City Hall level 30. So, I think this is the one that we have seen. I think this was in that Google Play Store, maybe. So, according to the article, it is one of the test servers then. Very interesting. So, apparently, even this leak about the Mulan video as a possible, apparently this one, it says epic. So yeah, I mean, Mulan is a legendary commander, so, but I mean, it says here it's a possible epic, but come on, man, Mulan, right? They talked about Mulan, a leak video about Mulan, and if you don't know it, in 2019 this channel have already predicted of the incoming of Mulan. And now I am predicting to you that there will be a T6 eventually. There's going to be City Hall level 30 eventually, right? It says here it appears in the Chinese version, but I mean, this is old news now because we have Mulan as a legendary commander. It says your Lilith Games seems to be ramping up their efforts to introduce series of new commanders, which you guys have already seen. There are some leaks about new commanders. There's going to be soon buildings and events. There is no civilization on the horizon, but we do have a wish list for what we hope for Lilith Games to include in the next update. So a new age is also coming, new tier 6, according to the speculations in here. As you can see, spot on the test server. For some reason, it's currently using Franz Unique as a placeholder for this moment. As this is a Franz. This is the two-hand X-Men. It says it's featuring a red background. As you can see, it is a red background to differentiate from T5, indicating ascendant quality. Apparently, I guess the official name for the stage is still need to be announced, so we don't really know what's going on yet. But the direction that Lilith is taking Rise of Kingdoms, we're guessing next age will be an Imperial Age base on simplicity and age pattern that they took. So I guess the speculations here also is that there's going to be new buildings, right? So we talked about it. And of course, technology, troops. So I don't know. This is very interesting. I don't think this is kind of like true. I don't think this is kind of like so. I don't think this is kind of like close to how it is really gonna be laid out, because the Lilith Games might plan to introduce gunpowder technology. Okay, that's actually legitimate. You have to understand, right? This is Rise of Kingdoms. Well, it used to be Rise of Civilizations, right? So the pattern of their footwork on how to improve this game is probably still gonna be a civilization type, right? Of course, in a civilization game, eventually you move into the next stage, and the next stage is probably we're getting close to the gunpowder, with guns, as you know it. So it's gonna be like gunpowder technology, so that we can train troops with rifles and some new armor that provides protection against sword, arrows, and bullets. Now this thing I don't really see how this is going to integrate in the game. Now, I could see more of new equipments focusing on defense, probably. But we've already seen the new legendary equipments that Lilith have pulled out. But I don't really think about, protecting against sword, arrows, and bullets. I think that's kind of like way off now. So it hasn't really released any date for T6 or upgrade technology, as we know. We don't know. We're just doing a speculation in here yet. So he's asking here, what do you think of T6 troops, level 30 city hall, and upgrades potentially on Rise of Kingdoms content? Are you excited? Right? And I don't think there's much comments in here. Like, I can't really see it. I think nobody really, I think there's about 20 votes, 3.6 out of 5. All right, but here's the thing that I want to tell you. You may think I'm in favor of, City Hall, level 30, new T6. Honestly, I am not. As you know, I'm not a huge spender compared to some other players out there. For them, they can move up, they can dominate, they can wreck everybody. To them, it's not gonna matter. To me, it's going to matter a lot, because it means that I may be forced to spend more into the game if that ever happens. But I am realistic as well, that I know it's bound to happen at some point. Let's be real. Eventually it will happen. It may not be this year, it may not be next year, it could be the third year. Eventually it's going to happen. Rise of Kingdoms has now been 2 years running, so the third year we don't know what's going to happen, right? But it's good for us to be prepared. If that thing ever happens about upgrading your city, meaning we may be looking into conserving our building speed ups at a certain point, and as well as research speed up. If you have realized this yet, there is no event that can claim your research speed ups. Have you wondered that yet? Potentially what Rise of Kingdoms can do is add another tab in here. See, there's like so much more space. They can add another tab in here that can work with our military technology. This might be done. Maybe there is no such thing as T6, but what if there is a new tab for technology to improve? That's something that is completely possible that can happen within the game. If you have looked at other RTS strategy game, there are intense amount of updates that they have, high level city, high level tiers of units as well. Rise of Kingdoms, it's at its baby stage, but there are other games that are in the 3 or 4 plus years now that they have updated a lot. So that's something that we need to be aware of, right? I have played a few of the RTS games, and I've seen from my experience that, to keep it healthy, to keep it really going, the game has to update. And for what I know, there is also going to be a new commander that was shared to me. I wasn't really so sure if this is legit, but you guys can take a look. I have no clue, but this drawing is so much more different than the other drawings that we have received in the game, and it just looks so much more polished. It looks more anime. If you look at Mulan, look at the drawing of that one, it looks so odd. Like, it doesn't fit the criteria of a Rise of Kingdoms drawing. But who knows, it could be a true character that is coming in. I am still hoping that Lapu Lapu would potentially come out in Rise of Kingdoms. But, honestly, there is also a rumor of VIP 18. Now, this is another update that is, going to make a dent for majority of the players. I would say we have about 10% or maybe like 5% that are huge spenders. I'd say majority of us in the game are maybe a medium to low spenders. Now, I am one of the content creators in here who doesn't, spend a whole lot into the game. As you know, I have not reached, 100 million ever. My highest is 88 million, right? If you compare my spending compared to the other content creators, they have spent a lot more into the game. For them, it's favorable, right? It's going to be easier for them. It's not going to hinder them from their progress, because they probably are already ready to move into VIP 18. For me, I just reached VIP 17. It's going to be very difficult for me. So what happens then when there is T6 and increasing of what is it called, of buildings, right? So for them, it's going to be easy. It's nothing, right? For me, it's going to be very difficult. I'm going to cry, honestly, if there is. I am not in favor for it, but I love the game. I'm realistic to it. I think eventually it's going to update, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be upset if it does, but we need to be realistic and we need to talk about it, because I think eventually it will happen. And when it happens, it's going to be here. And we're going to have to struggle, because we may not have the means to move up to a different tier right away. It may take us quite a while, because I don't think it's going to be an easy challenge or a quick transition towards the T6. Now, as you can see, once we move into City Hall level 30, what will that do? It means that it would also increase our troop capacity. I would say maybe about 200 troop capacity by then, or more. Maybe 250. I don't know. Or maybe 200 only. I mean, the fighting would be immensely going to change how we are going to approach the game when that time comes. So, I mean, we can always say that it's not going to happen, but honestly, do you really know it's not going to happen? Do we really know what's the updates going to come? Do we really know if... Now, we can always, assume that it's not going to happen. We can say it's not going to happen, but do you really know it's not going to happen? Nobody knows what's going to happen. And I'm sure even Lilith right now, maybe they are playing with those topics. Maybe they're not so sure yet how they're going to roll it out. Maybe they're not so sure if they are going to roll it out. But I'm sure it's been discussed. And I'm sure one day it will happen. And like I said, it may not be a year from now. It may not be 6 months from now. It may be 2 years from now. But I want you to remember that I talked about this and I mentioned it, because I think it's going to be happening at some point. And we need to be prepared when that time comes. And I love this game. I enjoy this game. And I hope by then we are still, successful in playing this game. And I hope that one day maybe we will be at 100 million or 200 million power by then, because of, with our progression, hopefully we improve our power as we progress, not lose more power. With that being said, let me know what you think. Do you think, you can survive when there is T6 into the game? There is City Hall level 30. Do you think, eventually you will just accept it? Honestly, this is a unique game. I love this game. And you don't need to hate the content that we're making as of today, because we're just trying to provide information out here. I am not saying that we will have this and we should have this. I'm saying that it's a possibility and we need to be aware. And I just saw that article and I think it's very interesting. Anyway, thank you for watching this content. I do appreciate your time, and I will see you guys again next time.
Come on.